Alright, howdy Sunday morning YouTube. Figured I'd go take another little ride. Guess I'm recording. What the? Man, you all laughing right now. I'm sure you're wondering what the heck I'm doing. 52-year-old guy with a ZZ Top beard, wearing a fanny pack. They only know fanny packs went out of style like 30 years ago. I don't think they're looking at my fanny pack. But thought I'd take the old girl out. I promised myself I'd take the old girl out today. And that's a tough call, but it ain't been ridden for like 4 months. And I promised myself last week I've got to get her out, wash it down, gave it a nice new coat of lemon pledge, and it shines up pretty too. I love this old Honda. It's a 06 750. Man, I love this bike. But it's a tough choice because I got my birthday present in and I haven't even tried it yet. My wife bought me a brand new LaPera seat. I've been sitting on it here in the garage for a week, and I haven't even tried it yet. I'm probably going to do that tonight or maybe tomorrow. But that is one slick looking seat, and it's real comfortable too. I like my big old sundowner over there, and it's nice, but man, this big old thing on this bike, it was just all about that big seat. You couldn't really see the old choppa. So I think tomorrow I'm gonna wash this one down and take it for a little motovlogging, or try to. But today I did promise myself I'd take the old girl out, and it was hard starting. Man, I should never just let it sit for 4 months like that. I learned some lessons, but ain't a lesson I ain't never learned before. I just repeat them old bad habits. But it's a running good now. Had to play with it a little bit. So I'm going to take it down to Kemah. One of my very favorite rides. We'll talk a little bit about this bike and how I came to be in the old McAllister family. So first I'm going to check you out, go get some gas, go pee, and then we'll get on the road. Alrighty, YouTubers, I think we're recording again. Got some old gasoline. Man, it needed some. I shouldn't have put it up. Like I say, it's been 4 months, maybe even 5, since I took the old girl out. Last time she was out, I was down here in a big parking lot. Like I told you before, the wife, she's learning how to ride. So the last time I had it out, she mostly rode it, and then I just rode it home. Just trying to burn some of that crap out of the carburetor. Didn't want to rev at all. It took like 20 minutes to warm up to where I can get it to even run real good. Well, we're going on down to Kemah, one of my very favorite rides. Take the old girl down there and let her look at the water. This is 146 going the other direction from my house, going toward Kemah and Seabrook area. Of course, this is my first motovlog on the old girl. You're going to be looking through a windshield. I'm looking right over it, but I bet this camera's looking straight through that seam right there. That's probably going to bother me when I look back at this video, but it is what it is. Thing sure cuts down on the old wind. I wouldn't think of putting one on my old choppa, but man, on long trips, that's what I love about this bike. I've taken it on some long trips. Just ride this silly thing all day long, and I love it. It's funny how we come about this old pink bike. Kind of hard to believe an old guy like me would ride it, but I tell you what, I don't care. I love it. And I get a lot of people, you would think, laughing, but instead, man, at red lights and stuff, everywhere I stop, people want to come up and look at it. But the thing, I think it's had 2 previous owners. I hadn't ridden for a long time, actually a long time. I kind of had so many other things going for years. I didn't even have a motorcycle, and my wife knew I've been wanting to get back into riding. And she knew I liked this bike. My wife's boss owned this bike for a long time. I guess he had bought it for his wife. And she come home one day and said, "Hey, baby, the bike's for sale." I said, "What bike? What are you talking about?" "The pink bike." And I said, "I'll take it." So she calls the boss, and he says, "No, he ain't riding that thing, it's pink." I said, "I'll take it." He said, "No, it's pink." "I'll take it." "No, it's pink." Well, we got it. And I have put a lot of miles on this thing, a couple 3,000 just last summer. And it only had 900 miles on it when we bought it. An 06 750 with 900 miles. And the owner before him, I don't understand the history. I tried to look the lady up because you can see who owned it on the title, you know. But this bike, I don't know who would take a 06 750 Honda and put a $1,500, maybe $2,000 paint job on it. I don't understand that, but because it was painted by Emma himself at Debonair Effects. Now he's that guy. Number one, you don't just go in there and have him shoot the thing. You get on a 6 or 8 month waiting list to paint. You know, he's got 2 or 3 TV shows he paints on. Trick My Ride or Truck or whatever the things are called nowadays. But you don't just walk in there and have him paint it. But that's who painted it. And it ain't cheap either. So I don't know who the original owner was that did this. But I love it. And so does a lot of other people after they get past the fact that my big old white beard's blowing in the breeze riding on a pink Honda. Then they look at it and say, "You know what, that's a dang nice looking bike." It's starting to run a little better now. Put a little bit of seafoam in there. I love seafoam. It's almost like maybe you're just making that stuff up in your mind. Get out of this bike's way. You're supposed to get 1 full lane over. I suppose I couldn't complain. I'm out on a bike. Don't want to get caught in front of a red light. Been that route before. I imagine it ain't so windy on the old Honda with this Memphis Fats windshield in front of us. I hardly feel anything at all. And it's set really nice. I played with it last summer. And there's no buffeting or none of that stuff. Welcome to Kemah. Man, I freaking love riding through here. I ride through here every day of my life going to work over there by Johnson Space Center. Old NASA. I'll have to take you over there one day. Taking a ride, taking a ride. Hopefully they can all hear me. Taking a hard ride, hard ride. Man, it is a beautiful day. It's like 85, 86 it says. It's muggy. Feels like 95, 96. Turn the old blinker off and get really used to my Harley. It's got that automatic blinker on it. You just push left or right and it kind of knows when to shut itself off. This old Honda, man, I've driven miles and that's not good to do. Just drive miles with your blinkers on. Alright, who's gonna let me go? A lot of people out fishing today. You know what? Man, I spent my whole life fishing. That's something else I ain't done besides ride this old girl. I ain't been fishing in so many years. Taking a ride. Everybody out fishing, and I bet they're catching a lot of them too. Man, if you could smell the smells of a little fishing town, it'll stay with you the rest of your life. You'll never forget that smell. Right here on the coast, nothing but little fishing towns around here. Of course, they're big towns now, but you know, man, when I was a kid, these were all just little fishing towns, and they still are. I'd love to live on. This is Toddville Road. One of my favorite rides. It's not that fast. I don't necessarily like riding on roads doing 75 all day long. Kind of like the last one. It was all 146. Man, you either freaking go or get run over. It kind of takes some of the fun out of it. And it's kind of why I don't ride to work. I don't ride because I have to ride. I'd love to ride to work, but when I get to work, I feel like, man, can't I just ride a little bit more? And I have to turn it off. And then when at the end of the work day, I have to leave. I may not want to leave or want to ride at that very minute. Sometimes you don't want to ride or don't feel like it, hot or whatever. Man, they're rebuilding all these houses. Better watch my old speed limit. This is Seabrook. Seabrook has a lot of history, and we lived in Seabrook for a long, long time before we moved down there to Bay Cliff. I really like living in Seabrook. Kind of expensive. That's alright. Keeping her around 30, right around 30. Man, all this is new. You know, a lot of this is new because, like the last Motovlog, keep calling it podcast. I used to have a beer brewing podcast for a long time. So I keep referring to these as podcasts. And kind of, in a way they are. Somebody invented the word Motovlog. So it's a Motovlog, I guess. And isn't this just pretty? And all these trees, I've been wanting to do this ride because, you know, Sean, he was having that issue with his GoPro Hero 4 Black, just the exposure just going wham, 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 wham. You know, black, white, black, white, black, white, dim, bright, dim, bright. Now, I haven't noticed that in my other two motovlogs, in my vast motovlogging experience. But we'll see, because all these trees cast lots of shadows, and it should just wig this thing plumb out if there is an issue. And I don't know if he's resolved that. I think he did. Just went out and bought a new one or something. I don't know. But hopefully we don't have them issues. This is my first GoPro. I don't have any more. Piston brakes. I probably have to get one more. I don't have a spare. I don't even have a spare battery. So, and I still don't have that little remote fob. I really do want to get that. They do make an app, aftermarket app for your iWatch, but I wouldn't be able to use it. So I can take my hands off of the old Honda here easy. For some reason, and I don't think it's a tire or alignment issue of old Choppa Choppa, you take both your hands off, you're going over that lane. That's just the way it is. I've tried everything. You could cock the tire a little bit and make it, but I think that's just an inherent problem in them old Sportsters. Look at guys out there waving. They're saying, man, look at that old guy on that pink bike. Holy shit. I was going to pull in there, but I'm not going to. I'll take you on down to the end of Toddville Road. One of my favorite spots. Just go have a smoke, turn around and go back. You seem to be running pretty good now. I never keep my darn speed down though. Don't want the old popo to pull me over on a pink bike. That kind of compound the issue. Like, well, here's your ticket. Now what the hell are you doing riding that thing? This really is a freaking outstanding paint job. The artwork on it, just enough to make you wonder, why would somebody put all that kind of a paint job on this bike? You know, the old 750s, they're not a real expensive bike. They're still relatively cheap. I think brand new they're like $6, or maybe even less nowadays. The old water. We're running right by the bay over here through these trees. So you can still smell all the smells, the fish. Just the whole environment smells like a little fishing town on the ocean. That's probably why we live down here. I don't think we'll ever move anywhere else unless we have to. Alright, we're coming up on the end of Old Toddville Road here, make a little whoopie-doo, and then we're going to go over to the cruise ship terminal. It's just a fun ride. Go over there and see if there's any cruise ships. Can't get that close because you have to go through a gate. But I still like going over there and just looking. Alright, taking a left, taking a left. Taking a left, taking a left. Old red Z stop. Fast stop. Ought to stop there sometime. The old ship channel. This place here is famous. It's where all the cargo ships come here. Kind of like riding in my Texas City ride. This is all real mechanized too. You know, for a mechanic, man, stuff like this just trips us out. A lot of people say, man, ain't nothing but a bunch of steel and crap. I can look at this stuff all day. Alright, let's see what there's usually a guard standing right here. And I wave at her. She ain't there to stop nobody. That tells me there may not be a cruise ship. Dang it, I wanted to show you that. Because if there's a cruise ship, then there's a guard standing here directing traffic, because that's how many cars have to show up to fill up a cruise ship, I guess. And it's just pretty out here. No, I don't see one today. Well, that'd have been fun. We'll have to come back on the old Choppa Choppa and try it sometime. And once again, I don't even know how long I've been recording. I forget to check my watch. Let's see, I was going to turn around there. I usually take that gravel road. I don't see any cruise ship. Maybe I can get a little closer. Usually this is so backed up with cars. I usually take that little gravel road over there, a little service road, I guess. Stop, have a smoke. So you can't really get down here unless you getting on the ship. Port of Houston Cruise Terminal Complex. This is where I'm going to have to turn around. Well, I guess when there's no ship, the place is just closed. Huh. Level 1 check. Don't know what all that means. I've never been on a cruise. Don't know if I'm gonna ever go. Yeah, that old gravel road. I never told y'all in my vast motovlogging experience, there's damn near not a gravel road that I will pass up on my motorcycle. That may freak a lot of people out, but I usually won't pass one up, especially on my old Choppa Choppa. Just riding down an old dusty gravel dirty road, getting rocks all on your belt. Of course, on this thing, the old shaft drive, you ain't got to worry about that. Yeah, look at that. It is a beautiful day, man. It's not hardly hot at all. Usually behind this thing you get a little bit of heat on a hot day. And of course the old Choppa Choppa is just full blast right in your face. Yeah. Wish I could get closer to the ship terminal, but there again, this stuff's all pretty protected, you know, for terrorism reasons and stuff. Terminals, cargo ships, and all that stuff. You know, you can't just drive up. You got to go behind a gate guard. If you ain't got a reason to be there, you ain't gonna be. See some old guy with a big beard drive up on a pink Honda. So we're just going back down Toddville Road. I don't know how long I'm gonna motovlog on and bore you. You'll just be seeing the ass end of all the stuff you just saw coming here. So, different vantage point, really. The old girl's running pretty good. I think it just needs to air out a little bit. I hadn't ridden it since before I wrecked the old Choppa Choppa. And like I say, last week I promised myself, you know what, I should have at least taken it out once a month, put it in the driveway and ran it, let it run for a while, which don't help. All that does is really run the battery down. You know, these things don't charge until you get up into a little bit of RPMs. But it'd have been better just letting it sit there and being stagnant, because I keep it on the battery tender, so I'm never worried about my batteries going dead. I couldn't live without my battery tender, man. That's just the greatest thing. And I try and keep a little seafoam on it. I don't know if a lot of people believe in that stuff. It really does work good. Especially, man, your bike's running a little rough, and you know you just got crap in your jets or something. That stuff just seems to kick in and works really well. So, just a backwards view of what we did a while ago. Except we're going to go home just a little bit different way. I don't know how long I've been rambling on. I don't even look at my watch. I just started wearing a watch about 2 months ago. I haven't worn a watch since I was a kid. I just don't believe in watches. But my wife got her one of them fancy eye watches. And of course, me being a Virgo and her being a Virgo, we got to have 2 of everything. 2 iMacs, 2 iPads, 2 iHome alarm clock systems, 2 iPhones, 2 iWatches. So it won't be long, she'll be getting a GoPro. Oh, 40, I better not go too fast through here. There's Seabrook again. Not the cheapest tickets. But I shouldn't complain. I haven't had a ticket since I was a kid either. I can't remember the last time I got a speeding ticket. Acreage for sale. Man, I'd love to buy some land back here. It floods a lot back here. Like I say, man, most of this stuff was 7 feet underwater or more. And that's why all these houses are being put up on stilts, because if your house was damaged to a certain percentile of insurance or whatever, you couldn't just fix it as it was. You had to raise it. So some of these houses haven't been raised and can't be, like brick homes. And I don't know how that worked out. It was a percentile of insurance, whatever. If it cost this much percentage to fix your house or whatever. But you imagine it costs a lot of money to raise a house way up in the air, 10 feet. Full water out there. You probably can't see it in the GoPro. Looking at Sean's videos, I understand what he's talking about. These things don't pick up. I don't know if it's because of the mode I have it in. I don't even know what mode I have it in, to be honest. I think it's 1080p, 30 frames per second. And we don't have the speedo issue. This is the old analog. You can read that just fine. Still think it's funny how you can't read the speedo on my old Choppa Choppa, my Dakota digital speedometer. It just flashes because of the megahertz and hertz and all that's the same. It's like getting in a blinking contest. Instead of a staring contest, you're in the kitchen and you and your wife get in a blinking contest. And you're standing there blinking at each other as fast as you can. Well, sometimes when you open your eyes, her eyes are going to be closed. And sometimes when you open your eyes, you'll see her eyes open. And she opens her eyes and just all your eyes are always open when she opens her eyes, and then she accuses you of not playing right. That's how that works. Oh, look, a squirrel. So I started this little Motovlog this morning showing you my new Lapera seat. I think my wife ordered that like 3 months ago, maybe 2. It's been a while, enough to where you forget you even ordered it, so when it shows up, it's like, holy crap, I got a brand new seat. And it wasn't the cheapest seat, but man, you talking about quality. She got it for my birthday. It was kind of like the final topping, icing on the cake of me rebuilding the old Choppa Choppa. It was like the last part. I still have to paint the fender. That's the real last part. But gosh, that's turned into a fiasco. I'm hoping I just find a good eBay find like I found for the front fender. A 1996 new in-box pewter silver fender. Factory painted in a box. And I can't find the rear fender. The guy had the front fender in pewter silver and the same 96 year pewter gas tank I have on the old Choppa. But he didn't have the rear fender. Because some of the quotes I'm getting, it's like $500–600 to paint one fender, and I think it's just because nobody wants to paint one fender. There's no water. You know, they want to paint the whole bike. I don't want them to paint the whole bike. I love my emblem on the side. My old Choppa Choppa, that Indian head. Yeah, I don't want to miss my turn here. Don't want to miss my turn. I don't like getting out on Kemah Bridge either. Taking old right, taking a right. Go on down through old Seabrook here. Taking a right. Old blinker off. I've let that thing on 3 times in this ride. It's amazing how used to you get to my Harley. You know, they have that balancing sensor thing in there. I guess that's what it is. Oh, fishing. This is exactly what I need to do. Just come out here on a nice day and freaking sit and fish and smoke. Golly, I ain't been fishing in a long time. I don't know what they're catching. I'm not big on saltwater. I'm from Louisiana. I told you in the last Motovlog. Just an old bayou boy raised down there most of my life. Catfishing and bass. It's all saltwater here. I don't know much about saltwater fishing. I hope somebody's turning left. There again, we have such an issue down here. I mean, you can write to whoever and complain to whoever, you know. I guess if you do, they're supposed to adjust the red lights to turn and change for motorcyclists. But that's a bunch of happy whore crap. They don't do nothing. Snoopy's Corner. This is old Seabrook. It's a lot of little bitty buildings that used to be homes, and now they're little bistros and like a midnight slice. And my buddy plays there all the time. They want me to come play with him. I'll have to do that. And here we are, 146. If I was to go straight, we'll go right down to NASA. This is NASA right up there. NASA Road 1 they call it, or used to. Well, we're going to turn a left and head back to the house. And hopefully this thing ain't that long. Last time it was like 45 minutes, man. I said, what the heck? And then I had to stop and pee, so I'm not so experienced at this motovlogging. So I didn't know how to cut out or nothing. I just turned it off. You know, at 52, there's not a porta potty you're going to pass up that often when you're out driving. Alright, let's go ahead and break the law. Breaking the law. I don't want to be at a red light. Old guy getting his motorcycle all hand washed. I did wash this morning. And man, it come out pretty. And he put lemon pledge on it. It just shines like glass. Okay, this is the back end of what y'all saw coming. This is another viewpoint. Old choppa for sale, I guess. The old girl runs pretty good after I got it to quit spitting and sputtering. Hopefully this ain't so distracting looking through the windshield. I guess we're going to find out here in about 30 minutes. Hopefully. Let this old fella get over. Turn my blinky off. That is the hardest habit to get into. I drove this thing all last summer with the right blinker on. I really did. That's kind of very dangerous. So I really had to buckle down and learn to turn it off because I'm so used to having a sensor or something. And all, you know, when I was a kid, most of my bikes didn't even have a blinker. So you had to use the old hand signalage. There's Kemah Boardwalk. That's a fun little ride. I'll have to do that sometime. I'm not going to do it today. It's always so busy going down there in the marina. But it's a fun ride just to go. That's where me and the wife go eat. Matter of fact, we're going to get in the car and go eat right there. Crazy Allen's Swamp Shack here in about an hour probably. We'll come right back this way. If she was a riding still learning, we could ride up there. I'd take the old choppa. She can take old girl out. And she's learning, but we had a little setback. She had that carpal tunnel surgery. First on her left hand, and we let that heal up for a month, and now on her right hand just not long ago. And man, that crap looks nasty. I thought it was just a simple little thing. I mean, I've been operated on I don't know how many times. I've seen my own bones. But I know it wasn't good for her. And she don't have the hand strength anymore she had a few months ago. So she's been coming out every night sitting on the old girl here, just squeezing the clutch in and out with each hand, taking turns. And that's good exercise. She'll be up and riding again. I had her in second gear and she was doing pretty good before we had to have her hands operated on finally. So it won't be long. She'll be back in the saddle and I'll teach her how to get in third gear, which is just like second gear but faster, and then the same with fourth. And then you got to reverse that process. That's the part she's still trying to work on. Kind of heady, you get back down to first gear. Takes a little figuring. See what the little girl can do. My wife hadn't heard it run for so long. She hears the old chopper run every day. When I started it, she come running out in the garage in her nightgown. I said, "What the hell is that? Has it always been that quiet?" I just had to laugh because I thought it wasn't even running. I said, "Holy crap, man, what's going on?" Just used to the old choppa exhaust, pretty loud. The old girl being a Honda, and it's all stock. Like I say, the original owner didn't do a lot. Added a Memphis shades, I think. That's the only damn thing other than a $2,000 paint job I think they did. But it runs. When it runs, it just runs so freaking good. And it's so fun to ride, man. I could ride this thing. Last trip I put, it was like 300 miles. And one thing I like to do is just ride. I don't like riding somewhere. Kind of like what I just did. And I've been doing that on the Motovlogs. I have an intention to take y'all somewhere, but when I'm not doing that, I just ride. And I ride to the point to where I'm freaking lost and have to stop and call the wife. Say, "Where the hell am I? And how the hell am I gonna get home?" That's riding. And that's what I did the last time I rode the old girl. I went, hell, to Freeport or something. The long way. Yeah, it took the even longer way back. 146, man, it's like a rat race to hell on this road. I don't like riding on it. It's the only road you can use to get home. 65 mile an hour most of the way. Like that gas station I pulled off of into on the last Motovlog. That's 65 miles an hour. They don't even have a turn-off lane, man. You just freaking got to turn off into a gas station. And when you get back off onto the road, you better be freaking hauling butt. And it is a beautiful day. But anyway, back to my original story. Hey, look, there's a squirrel. I may tonight try my new La Paris seat out. I really did promise myself to ride the old girl that needed it, but I can't believe in 5 days I have not tried out my La Paris seat. I may do that tonight, or I may just do my original plan, just get up in the morning and wash it since we're all off, and ride it tomorrow and do another little moto vlog, and maybe go nowhere. Which is the best way to go? Oh, Crazy Horse Strip Club. Never been in there and I ain't going back. I give us another year, all through these woods on the other side of my road here. Man, they are building neighborhoods. Alright, buddy. Always try to be prepared to counter steer on this old girl. She counter steers like a freaking dream. Push! Push! It's the hardest thing to teach people sometimes. Man, you can get yourself out of an old squirrely do in a hurry. Find yourself in a whole different one real quick. Oh, McDonald's. Yeah, I sure hope this ain't another hour-long freaking moto vlog. I am going to get that key fob soon, I hope. I did, like I say, find an app, but the app I found is not made by GoPro, and I don't suspect GoPro is going to make an iWatch app. Why would they want to? They sell an $80 remote. Why would they want to sell a $3.99 download to your iWatch that does the same damn thing? They want to sell that remote, and I don't blame them, I guess. But the app I did find, it was a third-party app. It looked real cool, but it don't give you the... Well, it's something that gives me the time I've been recording, since I'm really crappy at keeping time, apparently. I want to know... Man, I've been gabbing for freaking 45 minutes. I need to shut up. Guess that idiot don't know that ain't a freaking driving lane. Alright, taking a ride back in the old neighborhood. Taking a ride. This was a freaking beautiful ride day. I almost hate to go home. I don't suspect the wife expects me to go home, but she knows on a day like this I may come in and say, what's for supper? Alrighty, YouTube, y'all have seen this part of my hood. You don't need me seeing me pull this thing up next to the old chop anymore. You saw all that, so I'm gonna go ahead and check out until maybe even tomorrow, or maybe even tonight. I don't know. I'll ride the old La Paris seat, try it out. I may just not get off of the damn thing. So y'all have a good one. See you next time, YouTube. Oh, look, there's a squirrel.